What's up, guys? It's Michael.kee, and there's a few aspects of options trading that some people just make far more complicated than it needs to be. So today, I'm going to take the time to simplify it. The first one being extrinsic and intrinsic value. An options contract has two different types of value. You have the extrinsic and intrinsic value. You also will hear the term time value, which is the same thing as extrinsic value. Intrinsic value, the easiest way to think about that is how far an option is in the money. So I'm going to draw this line here, and we're going to have a chart, and we'll have a strike price. Let's say a strike price of $100, and you're looking at the $90 strike for a call option. Let's say you want to buy an in-the-money option at $90. Now, this contract cost a total of, let's say, $1,500 to buy. So the difference between the current value or current price of the shares is 100 minus 90 equals 10, and you would multiply it by 100, right? So it'll be $1,000 difference. That means the intrinsic value of this strike price is only $1,000. So anything below this line here equal to this difference, or the $10, right, is what's called intrinsic value. So if you look at the value of the contract at $1,500, you would go $1,500 minus 1,000, and you get $500. That is the extrinsic value, or the time value. If the price of the stock didn't move from now until expiration, this amount of money would be lost on the value of the option. So if the current underlying stayed at $100 from now until expiration, that option at expiration would only be worth $1,000. So anything above this line, I'm going to draw it out, would be what's called extrinsic. And this is intrinsic. It's the easiest way to think about that. How far in the money it is based off of the value of the option, how far out of the money the option is. So if you have an option at the 105 strike here, and it's priced at $300, since it's out of the money, since the current price is at $100, that is all extrinsic value on that option. There's no intrinsic value, which means that if the price of the stock stayed at $100 from now until expiration, you would lose all of that and the option would expire worthless. So that's the easiest way to think about extrinsic and intrinsic value. Extrinsic, out of the money. Intrinsic, in the money. Now, the easiest way to get to learn options is to look at it from a standpoint that you're going to hold it until expiration. The reason being is because there's so many variables inside of these options that change throughout the time that you buy it and the time that it expires, that if you really want to get a deep understanding of them, you just need to pick a point, so today and then at expiration, and then grow your learning from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over how to calculate profit and loss on a lot of these positions. And we're going to start with put options. So let's say we have XYZ stock, and it's trading at $100 a share. Excuse my handwriting. And we're looking to sell 190 strike put. And we'll receive about, let's say, $2. Now remember, when you're quoting this stuff, an options quote is $2, but it's $2 times 100 because it's on a per share basis. So that would mean you're going to collect $200 in premium. So how would you calculate your profit and loss here? from a holistic standpoint, what you would do is you would take the strike price, the 90, you multiply it by 100, $9,000. But you collected a $200 premium that you get to keep anyway, so you'd subtract that from the $9,000. That gives us a max loss of $8,800 on the trade. Now, when you're selling puts, the stock would have to go to zero for you to lose out on that trade. Your actual break even is at $8,800. So if it's at $8,900, you would actually still have a profit of $100 on it. Anything above $8,800, you make a profit. So I think a lot of people tend to forget that if, it went below my strike price, I'm losing. Well, no, it still has to go below because you get to keep the $200 premium. And in this scenario, if you're selling puts, if you let it expire in the money, then you just purchase the shares at $9,000 or $90 a share. But your cost basis, because you still get to keep the $200 premium, this is your new cost basis on those shares, which would be $88 a share. And also to add on to that, if you were to buy XYZ today at $100 a share, if you bought 100 shares, it would cost you $10,000. And that's also your max loss if it went to zero in the same scenario. So just wanted to compare that against selling put. So selling a put is no different than putting like a buy limit order in, but you're getting paid to do it. So just food for thought. Now, I want to go a little more in depth and get a little more complicated, and I'm going to show you how to calculate your profit and loss on spreads. So you have different kinds of spreads, and the ones I'm going to go over is a put credit spread, a put debit spread, a call credit, and a call debit. Now, what are the difference between these? This is you are receiving premium, and this is for both of these. So when you see credit, you're being credited the money. You're not paying money up front. For these two, you're paying a premium. When you debit something, think of it as you're using your debit card, you're paying for something, right? Or someone's crediting something back to you. So that's how I always imagine that, and that's what helped me kind of learn it. So to start this, we're going to go over here. We have a put credit spread. And let's say we sell XYZ always, and it's at $100 a share. So we're going to sell one $90 put for $300. Then we're going to buy an $80 put for $100. And before anyone says, oh, though it's not real premiums, whatever, I'm just using an example on these numbers, okay? So on a put credit spread, that means that you're selling a put contract that is closer to being in the money, and it's higher with a higher strike price than what you're buying one for. What your profit and loss would look like on this is you would be receiving the difference because you're paying this and you're receiving this. So your max gain $200. It's just the money you receive minus the money you pay. Your max loss is the money you receive minus the difference in the strike prices. So 90 minus 80 times 100, right? So it'd be 1,000 minus $200 that you received. So your max loss is $800. So that's your risk to reward ratio. You can do $200 gain, max gain, with an $800 max loss on this example. What you would do is you would determine, is that worth it? What is $800 risk with a $200 reward? So that's where just knowing, what's the chances of that trade being successful? Your break-even point on this would be if XYZ goes to 90 minus the premium received, which would be 2. So 88 again is your break-even point on that. $88 a share. So you can allow XYZ to go to $88 before you incur a loss on that trade. I want to clarify for that last example, that is if the expiration dates are the same. So basically what we're looking at is a vertical credit spread, right, and a vertical debit spread. So just wanted to clarify that because I know when you start changing at the time periods, that's a different video. But this is just for the verticals, and all these have the same expiration date. So on this example, we're going to actually buy the 190 put, and we're going to sell the lower strike. So that means that we're going to pay the 300, and we're going to receive 100. So that would be a net debit. Excuse my handwriting. Of $200 that we're paying. So that's our risk. Our reward is the difference. So all you're doing is flipping it from the last scenario. That $800 risk on the last one is all we're doing is we're taking, we paid $200, and the difference between the strike prices, which is $10 or $1,000, right? Minus the $200 premium. Our max gain is $800 on that trade. So that's a debit spread. When you're looking at call options, it's the same concept, except for a call would be buying the lower strike price and selling a higher strike price. That's a debit spread. And selling the lower strike price and buying the higher strike price would be a credit spread, because you would be receiving more money than what you're paying. So again, just to recap, a credit spread means that you are receiving more money than what you're paying. And a debit spread means you're paying more money than what you're receiving. And that's the best way to think about that. If you like the video, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. And I apologize if some of these videos are not greatly edited. I'm a finance guy. I'm not a technology guy, but they will get better. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you.